Hi, my name's Alicia Redshaw from Scrapbook Fantasies in Gladstone, Queensland. If you're unable to come to Gladstone, you can find us online at www.scrapbookfantasies.com.au. Today I am going to teach you how to make this lovely tag with a bit of a shabby chic style using my new pattern paper collection called Springtime Tea Party that I have designed and had manufactured exclusively for Scrapbook Fantasies. Our paper is of the highest quality archival nature. It is sustainably sourced, it is acid free and lignin free, and it is printed in Queensland by a family owned business. So let's get stuck into making our tag. So this is paper number 1, and you know, nothing fancy, just paper numbers. And paper number 2. So there's 6 papers in the collection. I'll go through the papers first and then we'll make a tag. And paper number 3. Paper number 4. And you can find my papers exclusively at Scrapbook Fantasies because I own Scrapbook Fantasies. Paper number 5. And these patchwork squares are 3 inches, which are great. This is your fussy cut sheet. And paper number 6, which is another fussy cut sheet. And it's got a macaron print on the back of it, which are easy to cut out. Okay, so I've got a set of 4 tags, which we sell for $1. I've got a little butterfly flare button, and I will put a link up with all the products in the link. So the link will take you to the whole list of products I've used in this tag class. So a little butterfly flare button, and I've got a meter of green Tara antique pink lace. We sell this by the meter in our online store. I've got a packet of writing set colour cuts, a packet of green Tara rustic blush flowers, and a packet of gauze. So we sell all of these items in our online store, and I'm using Express It tape today. Okay, so let's snip apart our tags. And I do snip them. You can just pull them apart, but I do snip them. And I like to use a tag as my base. So then I'm going to get a piece of paper number 3. So for the Great Australian Craft Show number 7, which this is recorded for, I am going to do 7 classes, and 3 of them will be made with the Springtime Tea Party paper, and all 3 will be from 1 pack of paper. So if you're intending on doing or repeating all 3 of my classes using Springtime Tea Party, you can rest assured that you will only need 1 pack of paper. Obviously I'll add embellishments to each class, but you'll only need 1 pack of paper. Now let's have a look. Writing is that way up. I should know, it's my paper, so I'm going to stick it on the back. So I'm going to use the writing side, then I'm going to snip around the edge. So you could have traced this and you could have made a tag base. I like the manila tag bases. They've got a bit of body, and they give a bit of body to my tags. I don't have to cover the back if I don't want to. I will actually cover the back at the end, or towards the end. I'm going to cover the back with this. Okay. let's bust out our writing set embellishments. And so I am thinking this little typewriter, and I've got a nice little butterfly here, my butterfly flare button. Let's grab a couple of flowers. So what I do is I decide on the things that I want to use. So I work out what I definitely want to use on a project, and then from there I go along and I build it all together, audition the items together, and then what I do is that is Quentin and Amelia Ann leaving the store to go pick Noah up. Nope, let's just use that. So then what we're going to do is use a bit of the lace at the top of the tag. So let's just snip a bit of lace. I'm going to have sharp scissors to snip lace. We'll use a bit of lace at the top. And then what we might do is let's find a nice big rose. Where did I put the scissors? There. Nice big rose to at the top. So rose there. So I don't actually plan everything before I start. I like to create a bit on the fly and add as I go. I'll put this little rose here. Where's paper number 2 with the big fussy cuts? Maybe not. Okay. So what we might do is cut out a couple of these patchwork squares. So I've got this nice wooden one, and then we might cut out this piece of crumpled paper out of the bottom here, and then we'll take out this piece of lace. So I'm going to get my trimmer. And I am going to just remove those pieces I want. And we'll take our piece of, so my trimmer cuts just here where the arrow is. This is a Kaiser Craft trimmer. We do have these in our online store as well. There's not much we don't have in our online store. We get stock in every day, and we try and have a good variety. Let's trim this one down. Just gonna trim it down there, because there's a bit of grace. So you will notice when you go to cut the barcodes off the paper that you need to measure, because I give you a little bit of extra grace on the pattern papers. Rightio. So let's tear about 1/4 of an inch off one edge. Piece of paper there, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to leave this one for the moment. Let's fussy cut out this rose just so that we can see exactly how much space we've got. Now it's okay to, and I've fussy cut so many of these out, because we recently had a virtual retreat and the featured paper was my paper range, and I did some of the fussy cut homework for everyone. I will pop a link up for our next virtual retreat, which has the theme a grungy Aussie Christmas. So we're going to be doing some masculine Aussie grungy Christmassy projects, and we do 6. So a virtual retreat costs $50, which covers the cost of your kit. You do need to either pay postage or include it with an order over $85 that totals over $85 to get free postage. And we do 6 classes, we do Zoom get-togethers, and you have plenty left over. It will be using my December release pattern paper collection, which is called Aussie Grunge. Rightio, so when we pop this under here, and we'll just snip off a bit here. I don't mind combining things with a bit of an edge, you know, a fussy cut edge. All of my fussy cut papers, except for paper number 2, which is massive, you know, they're huge fussy cuts, but the other fussy cuts sheets have little white borders around the items so that you can easily leave a white edge if you would like to. I use a bit of a combination of some things with white edges and some things without. Okay. This is a pre-recorded video, and I normally teach all of my video classes live. And if you have watched my video classes before, you will know that I do create on the fly. I have no preconceived idea here. This may be pre-recorded, but has been recorded on the fly. I am not going to, you know, change the way I create. If I plan too much, it doesn't work out so well. So this is the gauze. As you can see, I've cut, you get 10 pieces like this for $2. So I've cut a quarter section off, and then I've cut that quarter section, just under half of it off. Then I'm just going to give it a little trash, wreck it a bit. Don't throw the little wispy bits away. We'll leave them sitting there. So then I'm going to snip that in half, and we'll use a bit under our flowers and our flare button. And our rose, let's just sit that there, and we'll tuck another little bit under here. Now this flower here, this rose, what we're actually going to do is I'm going to cut a bit of a corner out of it, so we'll sit it there, and then this piece, we'll tuck it out the bottom here like that. How's that? So this little square, we're going to cut along this edge, this little lacy edge. So this lace is the same lace I use to construct paper number 2. Obviously I've had to use several layers of lace to do that. And then let's tear that so it's about 1 inch wide. And let's put that there. Actually, let's add it sort of here, up the top here. So then this little piece, I think I'm going to cut a little heart out of it. So what I do, you could either draw a heart on the back, or what I actually do is I visualize the shape of a heart. And then I cut slightly bigger than what I want. Just slightly. Oh, that's dodgy. Then what we'll do is we'll just come in and tidy that up. I'm going to tuck him in there. I know there's a heart there, but that's cool. How's that? Are we happy with that? I think that's really pretty. And then what we might do is on the back, I'll put a bit of this on the back of the tag. Okay. So this is the point where we're going to make the decision how we're going to embellish it as far as ink, etc. goes. So I have got a dark pink Card Deco pearlescent ink pad, and I'm going to add a little bit of that. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is just distress it. So you can either use your scissors or an edge distresser. Now, because we're going to cover the back and we're going to distress the edges, what we'll do is right now we'll cover the back, leaving all those bits there. That was the point in time where I would actually get my phone out and I would photograph my tag or my creation, except the only problem is you're looking at my tag through my phone. Let's peel it back off the tape. I teach free live classes every week at the Scrapbook Fantasies Creative Family Group. Okay, so I think I like this bit here. It's got a bit of green, a bit of blue. So let's pop our tag on here. So I teach 2 scrapbooking classes and a card making class at the Scrapbook Fantasies Creative Family Group on Facebook every week. You do have to answer some questions to join. And I have Quentin and I have a 20-year-old daughter. We actually have 4 children. We have a 20-year-old daughter named Naomi John, who's studying visual art at QUT in Brisbane, and she teaches a mixed media class, sort of art journaling, but you could do it on a canvas or a page background or anything. She teaches that every Friday in the group in the morning. So the scrapbooking classes are at night and the card making's in the morning, but they're there to look at. There's a resource of probably, someone said 200 plus classes. I don't know. I haven't counted the classes since we're at 160, and that was like back in June or July. So there's a lot there. We have a lot planned coming up for Christmas, so I'm just dragging my edge distresser along. I will put a link up, but I will say that we're getting close to the end of supply. My sincerest apologies if you watch this later and you come along and there's none left. Okay, so let's just distress the bits we're going to see. Not the same all the way along. We're just going to do a little bit here and a little bit there, even on the torn bits. Just a bit of a rough up. Just a little bit of a rough up. I'm actually going to do a little bit of distressing on the paper in the typewriter. So just the paper that's in the typewriter, not the typewriter itself. Let's just distress the paper. Okay, so on our typewriter, I am actually going to build my little embellishment. So I'm scooching up in the middle here of my gauze, and then I'm going to get, so this is my applicator bottle, and inside the applicator bottle I have Dimensional Magic, very similar to Glossy Accents. So we've got our heart, and putting it so that kind of goes with our other heart that's there. And then let's put our pink flower on here, and then our spiky white flower with some pink accents there. And then the flare button, I'm going to add the flare button with a little bit of foam tape. Let's get some gungy scissors. The scissors we have in our online store are not Teflon at the moment. I really do like the non-Teflon. I like them both, but I like the non-Teflon ones especially. I just don't have a pair to use because my pair live here at work. I am actually recording this at work. My pair live in our studio here at work, where we make our colour cuts and our flare buttons. So the colour cuts, the cutout titles, the picture cuts, and the flare buttons that we make, we manufacture all of those ourselves on our premises. Well, we used to manufacture them at home, but now we manufacture them here. Okay, let's put tape on the back of all the bits. Oh, that does look nice, doesn't it? That's the back of the frame on that piece of pattern paper. Okay. So let's add this crumpled paper piece down the bottom. And before we, so this is that little leftover piece of rose, and we're going to just tuck it under there. So we'll just leave that there to dry. So then what we're going to do is place a bit there. Then we will stick, that's going to fit underneath. So let's, if you have been to a craft show, or if you have been in our creative family group, you will have met my family, who are just walking through the door. This is being recorded on a Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon, I should say, sorry. So then we're going to add a little bit of Dimensional Magic, and then we're going to tuck this flower under here, this rose. Now I was going to add the pink, and see, I told you I don't always follow my plans because I didn't ink. But I will ink around the outside, I think. Just going to add the tiniest touch of the dark pink around this outside edge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick it over. Just graze it on some of those outer bits and distressed bits. There we go. Some of these little threads. Okay, so the hole is about there, about halfway. I could get a punch to do that, but I'm not going to. I just want a really nice tight hole. And I'll show you why I want a really nice tight hole for it is because it then is a tighter place that the lace goes through, and it gets a real nice bunchiness to it. Does that make sense? It's not really the proper terminology, I'm sure, but it does get a nice bunchiness to it. Look at that. I'm going to leave that nice and long. I think I'm going to cut it off. I said I'd leave it long, now I'm going to cut it off. There we go. So I started with a piece, well I started with a metre, so I probably used about 40 centimetres of the ribbon. Don't throw these little bits out, so what we'll do is I'm just going to tuff this up in here and have a look. I'm just going to see what it looks like. So you could do that, but I'm not going to. Like, you could have the tuft coming out, but don't throw that out. I'm not throwing that out. I could use it on another layer. There we go. I'm a bit of a messy scrapbooker, just so you know. So in this writing set, we've also got a set of letters and some flowers. Well, we've got to use this little flower. I'll use him in a second. A cup of pencils, word take note. So this would be nice for a notebook. Remember, that looks really nice. And some more flowers. So you get plenty in them. Okay, so this little flower that was meant to go here, let's sort of snip him across. And tuck him in. Just going to snip that there. And then I'm going to tuck that in there. Like that. Look at that. Like it was there all along. See, it was there the whole time. And the back is ready to write on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put up some images of the papers in the Springtime Tea Party collection, and you'll be able to see them, and you can ask questions. So be sure to ask questions down below in the chat about the different papers. So you can ask why I did something, or why didn't I do something that you thought would have been better than what I did do. Okay. So thank you very much for coming along to my little tag class and seeing my first release pattern papers, Springtime Tea Party. And I hope to see you back in class with me again soon here at CraftAlive and in the Scrapbook Fantasies Creative Family Group. Bye! Thank you for coming along to my tag class today and making this beautiful little shabby chic tag, which would be beautiful on any gift or to decorate one's craft space. And I look forward to seeing you in my other classes on the CraftAlive classroom or at Scrapbook Fantasies Creative Family on Facebook. Thank you. Bye.